I've lived on my ranch for 30 years. Bought the land cheap when I was fresh out of the army, and I've been raising cattle and kids here ever since. When I bought it, nobody cared about this patch of scrubland. Too far from town, too rocky for subdivisions. Worked just fine for me. About 10 years ago, a fancy developer decided the hills out here would look real pretty with rows of rustic modern homes, overpriced boxes with stone facades and 0 yards. They bought up the old Jenkins farm next to my spread and built Willow Creek Estates, complete with winding roads, designer mailboxes, and an HOA that thinks it runs the world. First, we got along fine. I'd wave at the new neighbors when they drove past my cows. Sometimes their kids would wander over to pet my horses. But then the HOA got involved, and that's when the trouble started. Their new president, a woman named Gloria, decided my working ranch was an eyesore that ruined their neighborhood aesthetic. She sent me letters every month demanding I install appropriate fencing, limit livestock visibility, and even consider modernizing my barn. I tossed every letter in the burn barrel. But Gloria wasn't the type to back off. Last spring, she showed up at my gate with 2 board members in tow. They came armed with a manila envelope full of paperwork and that smug look HOA folks get when they think they're about to tell you how to live. "Mr. Parker," Gloria said, not even trying to hide her condescension, "we're here to make you an offer. Willow Creek is expanding, and your ranch is sitting on prime future development." I told her, politely enough, that I wasn't interested in selling. She said, "You'll want to reconsider. We can make your life very difficult if you refuse." I laughed in her face and shut the gate. A week later, the county sheriff showed up at my door. Gloria had filed a complaint claiming my cattle were trespassing on HOA property and damaging community landscaping. Sheriff Dan is an old friend. He drank coffee at my kitchen table while he explained the nonsense. He knew it was a bluff but had to file the report. I decided it was time to pull out my ace in the hole. See, when Willow Creek's developer bought the Jenkins place, they needed an access road, only one way in and out through my south pasture. I agreed to lease a strip of land for that road. Long story short, they never bought it outright. And when the developer sold out to the HOA, they forgot one thing. The road lease was still in my name. I also owned the tiny pond behind their fancy clubhouse. And the land under the HOA's prized tennis courts? Mine too. They'd never bothered to check the fine print. They'd built on leased land, and the lease was up for renewal. So I called Gloria and asked her to come back out. She pulled up with that same envelope, certain she'd wear me down. I met her at the gate with a copy of the original land agreement. I pointed out the highlighted sections, the road easement, the pond access, the tennis court foundation. Her eyes got wider with every page. "You see, Gloria," I said, "you don't own half of what you think you do, and if you keep trying to push me around, I'll cancel every lease, effective immediately." She sputtered something about legal repercussions. I told her to go ahead. I'd love to see them explain to a judge why they'd built half their amenities on a rancher's pasture without securing the deed. Word spread fast through Willow Creek. At the next HOA meeting, folks weren't asking why my cows were near their fence. They were asking why their HOA president nearly cost them their entire neighborhood. I renewed the leases for 5 times the original rate. Gloria stepped down as president 2 weeks later. Now, every Christmas, I get a polite card from the new board, wishing me and my cattle a happy holiday. And every time I drive past their shiny entrance sign, I smile, because I know it's standing on my dirt. Turns out it pays to read the fine print and never sell out when you don't have to.